It seems like most of my videos are of me undoing my work, and that's what I'm going to be doing right now too. So the idea of boundary seems to be that you are free, but you are loving, and I believe the other part of the triangle is that um, you are independent, and so we get into trouble when we blame the problems, our own problems, on the other person, on our partner, and so we have to take responsibility for our own actions and not blame our partner for our actions. And but at the same time, when we are free, we can have a truly loving relationship at that point. So boundaries in marriage, they have a lot of like clinical examples or situations that people are in, and I'm trying to make sense of them. I don't know. Like they say that when we guard our heart, in Proverbs, out of it are the issues of life. They say that when someone is hurting you with their speech, that you need to stop that because the proverb says guard your heart. I've never heard that interpreted that way, and so I'm not sure if that's true, but it is what they're saying. That and the law of proactivity is that you have to deal with these things so that they don't build up and turn into an explosion. And so I've heard that before. I've heard it put as, clearing the air, that it's important to clear the air before it turns into a bigger problem. And so that seems to be an issue. So the one illustration that sticks in my mind is a guy is coming home late for dinner every day. So as he's coming home late for dinner, it's apparently assumed that he has the ability to do otherwise. And she's upset that he's coming home late from dinner. And so it gets to where it's so obvious that she's going to be upset. At one point, he's on his way home from work, and he's like, I'm going to be 10 minutes late. She's going to be mad at me anyway. So he goes ahead and stops at the drugstore because what's the difference? He's going to be in trouble anyway. So he's a half an hour late because he knows he's going to be in trouble anyway. So she talks to her friends, and they suggest that she stop getting so upset about it and tell him that she's sorry for how upset she's been. And the idea is that, he's really excited that she's going to stop making such a big deal out of it, and he's always downplayed it. But then she says, but what we're going to do is, if you're not there, we're just going to go ahead and eat without you. Put the leftovers in the fridge. And so supposedly that was a motivator for him. He did not like the idea of eating leftovers. And so he may have been late a few more times, but he worked it out on his own. And so that's the principle, either way, that you allow them to have their own responsibility for their life and for things in their life, and that you don't reach in and take away the consequences for their own problems. You let them have their own consequences for their problems, and let them, keep that boundary so that they work on things themselves. That seems to be the idea. The idea is an overspending spouse. Same idea that you have an overspending spouse, so the other spouse just work harder and try to put more money into the system so that the problem is fixed, and one spouse bears all the responsibility, and the other person bears all of the it's their fault, and the other spouse makes up for it, and that builds up over time. And so you don't do that. You put a boundary and you say, okay, you've caused this problem, now you need to fix this problem, I guess. But at the same time, in a marriage, the two work together. So you are independent, you are free, and you are loving, and that's how a loving relationship grows. I don't like, he uses the phrase that love can dissipate, love can go away when you don't have those boundaries. And I understand that love is a choice and it's a responsibility. And so certainly maybe the warm feelings and the closeness go away when people withdraw because of these lack of boundaries. That's what I'm working on in the book. I got a lot more work to do.